If you thought the Shibuya incidents was the peak of darkness in Jujutsu Kaisen, the latest episode of Season 3 just turned the light out completely. We have just witnessed what is arguably the most brutal, stylish and transformative 20 minutes in the entire history of the series. The perfect preparation arc didn't just give us fight scene. It gave us a psychological horror movie where the monster, the slasher in the dark, is actually one of our protagonists. Maki Zenin has officially broke the game. She has discarded everything, her cursed energy, her family ties, and her humanity to become a force of nature that the Jujutsu Kaisen world haven't seen since the sorcerer killer himself, Toji Fushiguro. If you got chills seeing the silhouette of Toji overlying Maki's face, you weren't alone. It was a moment of pure cinematic perfection. But there is so much more to this than just cool fight. Today we are dissecting the massacre of the Zenin Clan. We are going to explain exactly how the heavenly restriction worked now that it's fully complete, analyze the tragedy of Maya's sacrifice, and break down why this specific transformation changed the entire power scale of the JJK universe. Whatever, buckle up because we are entering the pit. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing a deep dive into Maki Zenin awakening in the perfect preparation arc. This is a moment manga readers have been dreading and anticipating in equal measure, and Mappa absolutely deliver on the animation front. They really understand the weight of this massacre. We have to look at the context. The Zenin class has always been portrayed as a cesspool of arrogance and hierarchy tradition. They operate on a simple toxic philosophy. If you aren't a high-grade sorcerer with a powerful course technique, you aren't even considered a person. They are the ultimate gatekeepers of the JJK world. For years, Maki and Mai were viewed as ultimate failure, stain on the clan's reputation because they were women with low cursed energy and subpar utility. But this arc flips that narrative on its head in the most violent way possible. The title Perfect Preparation is actually deeply ironic. Toji Zenin thought he was preparing to execute his children to save face, but in reality the entire history of the Zenin clan was just preparation for Maki's ascension. We're going to look at the three stages of this event: the sacrifice, the awakening, and the extermination. We also need to talk about the ghost of Toji that haunts this entire sequence. There is a lot of nuance in how Maki moves, fight, and thinks now, so let's break it down properly. To understand the monster Maki become, we first have to understand what she lost. The encounter starts with her father, Oshi Zenin, signing his own death warrant. He throws his own children into a pit of grade 2 cursed spirit, blaming them for his own lack of success as a sorcerer. It is pathetic, it's cruel, and it set the stage for the most heartbreaking lore reveal in the series. We enter a shared mental landscape, the beach sequence. This is where the concept of the curse of twins is finally explained in full. In the world of JJK sorcery, identical twins are considered one individual soul split into two bodies. This has always been Maki's shackle because Mai possessed cursed energy and the cursed technique. Maki could never be truly free of a cursed energy. They were tethered together by fate. As long as Mai lived, Maki would always be half-baked, neither a full sorcerer nor a full heavenly restriction user. My sacrifice is the key to unlock the lock. He realized that for Maki to survive and thrive, she has to disappear. She doesn't just die, she takes all the cursed energy with her. She takes the connection that held Maki's back. I want to pause on my final word here. Destroy everything. This isn't just a request, it operates almost like binding vow. It is a curse and a command all in one. Some viewers felt the anime moved very quickly from this emotional beat to the violence, but I'd argue that sadness is unnecessary. Maki doesn't have time to grieve. She wakes up with a sword in her hand and her sister's heart in her chest. The perfect preparation isn't about emotional readiness, it's about physical completion. So let's talk mechanics. What exactly happened to Maki's body? We've heard the term heavily restriction before. Usually it's a trade-off. You give up cursed energy for physical power like Toji, or you give up a healthy body for immense cursed energy like Mekamaru. Previously, Maki was like a light version of Toji Fushiguro. She had very little cursed energy, roughly that of a normal human, which gave her above average strength and durability, but very little isn't zero. That tiny silver of energy was impurity preventing her from ascending. It was the anchor dragging her down. When Mai died and took that energy with her, Maki hit absolute zero. This is crucial distinction in the Jujutsu power system. When you have zero curse energy, you become a glitch in the matrix. You become invisible to sensors, barriers, and domains can't trap you because they treat you like an inanimate object, like a building or a rock. But the biggest change is sensory. The anime did a fantastic job visualizing the shift. Notice how the sound design changes when Maki wakes up. The world becomes sharper. She isn't using cursed energy to reinforce her body anymore. Her body simply is a weapon. She can perceive changes in air density, temperature, and the footing of her opponent before they even move. She has gained the ability to see the souls of inanimate objects. She has become an anomaly that the traditional rule of JJK can no longer calculate or contain. She is no longer fighting the world. She is bypassing its rule entirely. And then the rampage began. This isn't a duel, it's an extermination. The first to go is Oji. He activates his blazing courage technique, a flashy display of fire that represents his ego. He looks at Maki and for a split second his instincts scream at him. He doesn't see his daughter, he sees the one man who terrified him, Toji. Maki decapitates him in a single stroke. It's almost anticlimactic, and that is exactly the point. He was never on her level. She was just being held back by the connection to Mai. With the boss of the room dead, the alarm sounds. Maki steps out into the courtyard to face the Kokoro unit. These are the male clan members who, like the old Maki, have no technique. They try to swarm her, but it's like watching toddler fight a tank. The animation here lean into a stylized, almost sketch-like aesthetic. It's a bloody, visceral, and chaotic Maki using a cursed tool created from my sacrifice, Dragon Bane. But she's also using her bare hands. She's ripping through their weapons, breaking their formation, and moving with a fluidity that looks less like a material art and more like a dance of death. It's important to note the lack of hesitation. The old Maki wanted to be accepted by the clan as its head. The new Maki has abandoned that dream. She isn't trying to prove them wrong anymore. She is simply removing them from existence. Every slash is a fulfillment of my final wish. But the real test is the high unit, the elite. These are semi-grade 1 sorcerer with actual curse technique. In any other arc, this squad will be a massive threat against awakened Maki. They are fodder. We see her catch sword with her bare hands and kick through defenses as if they were paper. This leads to the climax, the confrontation with Naoya Zenin. Naoya is a fascinating villain because he is the embodiment of the clan misogyny. Yet he is also a massive Toji fanboy. He respects Toji because Toji was strong, but he despised Maki because she was a fake. Naoya uses projection sorcery, one of the fastest technique in the series. He moves at subsonic speed, freezing anyone he touches who doesn't abide by the 24 frame per second rule. But Maki countered him, not with magic but with pure biology. She read the physics of his movement, she count the frames. The physiological damage Maki inflicts here is just as heavy as the physical damage. When Naoya fights Maki, he tries to deny the reality in front of him. He refused to admit that she has reached the height of the man he idolized, but eventually he gets punched in the face by reality. Literally, that final punch where she caves in his face is the ultimate insult to the Zenin ideology. The woman they called the failure has become the very thing they feared and worshipped. She leaves him alive, not out of mercy, but because he isn't even worth killing anymore. Maki's mother finished the job, adding a final layer of poetic justice to the clan collapse. Maki Zenin has left the shot and a demon has taken her place. The Zenin Clan massacre is a massive turning point for the series. It effectively removes one of the 3 great families from the political board of JJK society. It also gives the protagonist a wild card that play by different rules, someone who can enter the calling games unnoticed and unmonitored. While the pacing of the grief might have felt fast to some, the result is undeniable. The era of the Zenin Clan is over. My wish has been granted. I want to know your thoughts. Did you think the anime did justice to the brutality of the manga? And where do you rank Maki now in the list of strongest characters? Let me know in the comment. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the perfect preparation arc, please crush that like button. It's helped the channel more than you know. And subscribe for more deep dives into JJK. I'll see you in the next one.